原定的弄出这个梨园嘛，原定的是倒数第二，对，就是要往后。好，谢谢。
In your office, thank you for hosting us. It gives me great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, today to tell you the good news that as of a few days ago, Bill C-6 became law in Canada. And that was a key promise that we made during the campaign. We said that we were against two-tier citizenship. We believe that a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian, and Bill C-6 reflects that. We also felt that the previous Conservative government put obstacles in place for eligible permanent residents who wanted to become Canadian citizens. And we made a commitment to remove those obstacles and make it easier for people to become Canadian citizens. And so Bill C-6 delivers on that promise by removing two-tier citizenship. Now dual citizens and people born in Canada will be treated the same. If you commit a criminal offense, you will be treated the same under the criminal justice system in Canada, and you will not lose your citizenship because you were born somewhere else. Secondly, Bill C-6 delivers on a number of facilitative promises that we made. For example, it reduces the residency requirement back to 3 years out of 5. The previous Conservative government unnecessarily made it longer and made people wait longer to become Canadian citizens by requiring them to stay in Canada for the last 4 years out of 6. We thought that was too long, and we're bringing it back to 3 years out of 5. And that should facilitate more people to become Canadian citizens. In addition to that, the Conservative government in the past required people to, even among the 4 years out of 6, to remain in Canada for a number of consecutive days. We've eliminated that measure, and we've put in more flexibility for people to meet the residency requirement to become Canadian citizens. Secondly, this is something that the communities had asked for. We are giving time credit to students or workers who were in Canada who then became permanent residents and then applied for citizenship. We will give them time credit for the time that they spent in Canada before they became permanent residents. And they can count some of that time towards their citizenship residency requirements, up to 1 year. So that should help a lot of international students and workers who are in Canada. In addition to that, Bill C-6 enables the Government of Canada to seize fraudulent documents, therefore improving program integrity. And the other thing that Bill C-6 does is it allows children who are not in the care of their parents to be able to apply directly for citizenship without their Canadian parents. In the past, they could do that, but they needed a waiver or permission from the minister. Now they don't need that; they could do it as of right. And finally, for people who are facing the risk of losing their citizenship due to fraud or misrepresentation, Bill C-6 gives them more appeal rights to exercise their rights under the law. So that's in terms of Bill C-6. I'll take questions later, but I also want to share with you one more thing, and this is something that Member of Parliament Gengtan shares with me. We have done as a government more in 18 months than the Conservative government was able to do in 10 years in our immigration system. We've improved processing times. We have eliminated or cut backlogs in various streams of immigration. And we have introduced new economic immigration programs that will lead to even greater economic prosperity for Canada, create jobs for Canadians, and basically build a stronger Canada. I'll give you a number of examples. When we inherited government, we had a caregiver backlog of 60,000 cases. We've cut that to now to 27,000, and we will eliminate that backlog by the end of next year. Second, we promised during the campaign that we will double the number of parent and grandparent sponsorship allocations. And we've delivered on that promise. We went from 5,000 under the previous government. Now we have 10,000 allocations for parents and grandparents, and we will continue to reunite families. Under the spousal program, as you remember, it was very difficult to bring spouses to Canada. It took 26 months or longer. and the backlog was more than 20,000 cases. We have achieved great improvement in that spousal program. We now have processing times of 12 months or less, and we have eliminated 20,000 cases from the backlog, which means 20,000 families are now reunited thanks to the Liberal government. The permanent resident card renewals used to take between 10 to 18 months under the previous Conservative government. We now can do those renewals in 52 days. We went from 10 to 18 months to 52 days. That's a huge improvement. We have reduced the backlog in the parent-grandparent program by 78%. We have more levels in we have more spaces in our immigration system, which is why we can reunite more families. We can bring more skilled workers to Canada. We've introduced changes to the express entry program to give more points to international students, and we will have more international students coming through the express entry program. We've also introduced another program called the Global Skills Strategy, which will allow Canadian businesses to bring high-skilled labor, temporary high-skilled workers to Canada in less than 10 days. We will be able to process both their work permits and labor market impact assessment in less than 10 days. This used to take months, and we've improved that process. We will also have a dedicated service channel for companies that want to relocate to Canada. We will help them move very quickly to help the owners and the workers and their families to move to Canada and create job-creating expansion in Canada. We also have a startup visa program that allows promising businesses to come to Canada to grow, and we'll give permanent residency to both their founders as well as their workers. So,
anyone who wants